So hello, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another Assetto Corsa Competizione video. Now in today's video we're going to be talking all about 1.9 and there's just so little to talk about if you ask me. Now yesterday I spent a good hour looking at 1.9. I was doing a hot lap session. If I ever look at this, I'm looking obviously at the screen that you're watching right now, but I spent probably an hour trying to set up the new Ferrari at Zolder for part of a hot lap session within the XCL website, the hot lap for the week. For all of those that aren't yet affiliated with XCL, please do look in the video description, you'll see a link to their website. And there are a number of brilliant races throughout the week that you can take part in from all skill levels. So do take a look at that. There's a lot of new guys coming to the game as we've moved to 1.9 that are looking for good online racing, that don't want to get slaughtered in online lobbies. And it matches you against a very similar skill level. So do make sure you go through the rating system and check out the hot lap situation. Let's just come on board into some of these menus. So the thing for me about 1.9, which is kind of, it's been a gripe for a long time, hasn't it? I'm sure many people that come to this channel will know how frustrated I am with the special events page. It's like a full section of a game that doesn't exist and hasn't existed since 1.8. Moving into 1.9, I just cannot understand where special events are and why we don't have them on console. I just don't understand it. There's no previous, there's no current, there's no refresh list at all. I pay very little attention to the career mode because it's weak in my opinion. It's just a race after a race after a race. There doesn't feel like there's a story or a progression to the game. It just kind of feels pointless. The only thing I've ever been interested in when it comes to Assetto Corsa Competizione is online racing, because it's some of the most closest battles that you can get when it comes to racing. And when you find a good lobby of people that are professional about it, it's fantastic. So for me, I've got to be honest, there's not very much has changed with 1.9. As much as we've all gone through the obligatory controls page and we've all spent time trying to get our wheels to feel normal again, which is part and parcel of every single patch that seems to come along with Assetto Corsa Competizione. One of the things that I do find people asking is, I've come into the game, I've select my wheel, and it always reverts back to the controller. Well, you need to select the wheel, and then you need to come down and fiddle with all these other little things. But the best thing you need to do is go into here and save it. Save the preset. So let's say for this Fanatec podium, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to call it, let's just call it Fan 1. And this is the settings that I'm going to save, saved as a preset. And then you want to come down to Fan 1 and load it. And that'll save it. That'll save the wheel in the settings that you've got right now. And everything else that you've done, whether you've changed your control bindings, whether you've changed any of these other things. So it always seemed to be an issue. You would select wheel, you would change all these things, you would come out, you click apply, but it never really applied. It just didn't apply. And then you would come back into the game and you'd still have to use the control pad again. Just little quirks of this game. Audio settings, I've used these for quite a while now. Really helpful when it comes to hearing what the car's doing. And there's nothing else that's changed in the game for me. I still set very similar lap times to what I was setting before. Maybe I feel like I'm having to brake a tiny bit earlier in some of the corners for some of the cars, but not all of the cars. Obviously we've got the addition of a couple of new cars to the game, which I'm sure we're all very much aware of. I'm guessing the Lamborghini Huracan GT3. We've got the new Ferrari. I can't even tell you what's really changed in the game. Maybe we've got the new Porsche. But yeah, very little's changed. For me anyway, I just don't feel like there's loads of stuff to talk about for 1.9, which is kind of disappointing. Maybe there's the new McLaren there as well. But yeah, it's just I'm kind of like stuck for words. How do you feel about the new 1.9J? Very little's changed. There's no additional tracks as far as I'm aware. There's still the same number of tracks. We still have weather that no one ever seems to use. We always seem to be stuck with nice dry races throughout every single lobby that you ever go to. The hot lap session doesn't work differently. You can't add any other different fun GT3 cars as your ghosts. You can still run all these other things. Yeah, nothing's really changed. So yeah, that's generally my opinion of 1.9. It's changed very little. Everything still works. I had one crash in the first half an hour of using the game, but ever since then I've not had any issues. One of the other things that I always seem to do with 1.9 is load the game from fresh every single time. I never seem to use the quick start option because it always seems to say disconnected as soon as you come on. So generally, to avoid any issues with connections, I load the game straight away from starting. Another thing I thought I'd just cover is a lot of people seem to be asking, where do you find other races? Well, if you come into this server list, I'm not sure what this increase your TR rating is. I don't think I'll just come back to driver stats. No, ratings. So track competency rating, to get that to 99. Car control seems to have dropped rapidly over these past couple of sessions. Obviously doing some hot lap sessions, but I'm not sure whether that's an issue, car control. Because when you push into the limit, you're sometimes slightly out of control. But yeah, coming back to this multiplayer thing, when people have been asking, where do I find other races? Obviously, you'll need to be privy to those that are needing a password. So once you're in this menu, you can move up and down here, but just move across in the very top and search for a certain server. And when you're searching for a server, I'd suggest that you turn ping limit to off. Sometimes not all servers are visible. So in here, for example, if I just see if the server is still running, XCL server 4, you can see that it comes up straight away, and there's one person in the lobby still trying to set a hot lap. So that you just select that and you come across to connect, and it'll ask you for a password. So you'll need to go into here, select the password using your keyboard, because we have keyboards on Xbox, on console, and then that'll allow you to enter the game. And that'll be the same for many other lobbies that are private. But if you are part of the XCL community, you will always get sent through email, as soon as you've registered for a race, all the password details, the lobby details, and you could even highlight them and put them in your weekly planner on your phone for the week. It's a really brilliant platform that the guys have set up. I really do enjoy racing. All the races that I've had on XCL servers have been brilliant. Really have. Really enjoying the hot lap sessions as well, once a week. Every Sunday, but I think it now runs Monday to Sunday throughout the whole week, so you can drop in any time to put in your best lap. So that's going to be it for today's video. I'm not really enthused about 1.9. I'm glad I wasn't home for the initial launch, but now we're into 1.9.1.2. It seems pretty stable to me, and enjoying doing a bit of racing from one night to the next. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions about the game, please do drop us a message in the comments section. Please do smash the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. I always try and get back to people, and just keep supporting the channel, keep watching. And straight after this video, I'm going to do another video in the new Ferrari at Zolder. I'm just going to jump into this lobby right here, and I've been kind of working on a little setup. I'm going to do just a hot lap session for maybe about the 20 minutes. I've got a setup that I've used, that I spent a bit of time on yesterday. I'm just going to try and talk you around the circuit, try and help those that are struggling to get into the 130s, maybe into the 129s. I'd have loved to have said I got the car into the 128s, but I guess that comes down to track conditions and just getting that perfect lap through the chicane. But thanks for watching. If you want to watch the next video, please do wait for that to arrive. Thanks very much. Ciao for now.